So then the behavior strategist asked me, she said, who wrote him up? I told her the name of the teacher who wrote him up. And she said, let me say this. She is not a teacher. She is a para. She said the principal knew that she was putting him in a class without a teacher when she changed his class. She said the other teacher did not want to teach my son. Okay. And so, listen, we all have these jobs, right? Where you have certain groups of people. I ain't trying to stick my middle finger at nobody. We have certain groups of people who only think with one brain, right? So I can say this: my peers at my job, we're not like that. We hold each other accountable. If we agree about something, we agree, and if we disagree, we disagree. But you have certain types of people who only think with one brain. So if you're offended, I'm offended. If you don't like him, I don't like him. Like that little Mean Girls clique, you know. And I had a feeling that that was what was going on with my child, but see, I couldn't prove it. And so she told me, she said she knew that this teacher was leaving when she put your son in that class. She said, the other girl is a para, because I just don't want to say nobody's name. She's a para. She said, and I'm not saying that a para can't do a good job. I'm saying that they are not trained to do that. And so, she tells me, she says, she said, now I will be honest with you. And I asked her, I said, please do. She said, I don't think the Montessori environment is good for him right now. She said, right now, he needs to be in a classroom where everybody is doing the same thing at the same time so that he can adjust in class. She said, he is very overstimulated very easily. So I'm just listening to her, but she said, but I'm telling you, she said, I don't care. And I told her, I said, hold up. I said, let me tell you something. Everything that you are telling me right now, I am going to repeat. She said, everything I'm telling you are things that I've documented. I said, okay. I said, because when I decide what I'm going to do, the people who are in position to make decisions and observations, I'm going to repeat it. I'm not going like it. Let's just say I got some insider information from, a parent or something like that. Like a parent, I'm not going to tell the parent because the parent child still has to exist in that environment. If a teacher told me something unfavorable, as a way to just give me some insight, I wouldn't repeat what the teacher said because, like I said, the bottom line is I got enough documentation to support everything that I'm saying right now anyway. I don't need to hang somebody else because, I just want to see her hang to dry. Uh-oh, me and this crossing leg. So in any case, so she just kind of, starts, telling me stuff and, some things were personal. And like I said, remember, I'm telling you a lot, but I am leaving out a lot. And she just tells me, he's such a sweet kid. She said, and I just hate that I didn't get over there to see him as much as I should have. She said, but I would have been there more if she told me that there were any problems. And I told her the issue is, I said, there were not problems. I said, I walked into the office a few weeks ago when the sub was there, and um they told me he hadn't been to the office in weeks. And she told me, she said, that's because she's an experienced teacher and she knew how to handle and address Miles. And so it was just like, it was a cluster. It was a cluster. It was really a cluster of shit dealing with this. And it was very unprofessional. And I truly, truly felt like it was an abuse of power, not even necessarily just to get rid of my son, but I also feel like, and see, I can say how I feel. I also feel like it was to get rid of me because some people like complaining. So I will get on Facebook and I will see teachers who care, okay? Teachers who care want parent involvement. They want the parents to come and be involved, be a part of your child's education, work with your kids when they're at home, do these things like support us, like help us help your kid. But that is exactly what I was. And had I had a different principal or and different teachers, I believe we could have made him successful sooner. You know, but the fact that I was walking in here paying attention to the fact that y'all don't even respect the development of children. Y'all are educators. So is your continuing education just about numbers and state regulations, or is there anything about, continuing education for educators? Is there any child development required so that you understand how to reach kids? So let's fast forward a little bit. So we get home, and this is about 10:30 in the morning. So my kid goes to the pantry and asks me for some popcorn. And so I told him, we don't have any popcorn. And he starts melting down. And I'm wondering, why in the devil is this boy melting down over popcorn? Like, it's not cookies or candy or nothing. And so I said, well, get you a cookie. And he was like, I don't want a cookie. I want a food. So this is the day I learned that popcorn is food to him. So he was like, I want a food. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, I knew I had given him a pancake on a stick before he went to school, but like I said, what did you eat for breakfast when you got to school? He said, I not had a breakfast, right? I not had a breakfast. I had to go straight to the office. So I said, okay. And that didn't register in that moment, because I'm asking you this, but I'm also trying to figure out what transpired in an hour that got you kicked out of school today, you know? So I said, well, what did you do in the circle time today? I not go to circle time. I go to office. I said, well, what did you do in the auditorium? See, these are the first things they do. They go, you know. He said, I not go to auditorium. I go to office. So now it's just like you haven't done anything today. So then I said, well, what did you do in the cafeteria? Mommy, I not go to cafeteria. I go to office because I not listening all week. And I said, this bitch, because you didn't feed my child. So my child who comes in every day and eats breakfast every day did not get to eat breakfast this morning. So I just started, like, I got this long hallway here, and then I got the the walkway that goes to my back door. So I just walked the L for a minute, like, yeah, these bitches ain't feed my child. And I started to call back up there, but what I didn't want to do was put them in a position that if they could, that they would cook the record to show that he did eat. I left it alone. I left it alone until I sent in the complaint. And um, so I grab him and we go get something to eat because I don't have anything cooked. I intended to cook while he was at school. But as the minutes are going by and we understand that we're not going back to that school in the morning anymore. It's like this heaviness lifts off my house, right? So the thing that I feel the worst about as a parent, and I know that I only can know what I knew, but I was punishing him for the inadequacy and the ego of other adults. And so, yes, children can be annoying, especially when they, like, mine don't ever shut up, you know? But when you sign up to work with children, that is a thing that you take on. When you have children, that is a thing that you take on. And so I felt the absolute worst as a parent because I felt like there was so much tension in my house. There was so much conversation about school and being good at school and following the instructions at school. And now he doesn't have to go to school tomorrow, and we can all just stop and breathe. We pick this up in the next part.